Our faith will be tested. And trust me, I know. I know from personal experience that it is so frustrating when you see that you're going through the same things, but it's like with different people over and over and over again. But the reason why it happens that way is because you haven't learned the lesson. Your faith hasn't grown. You haven't grown as a person. And so the only way to know how your faith has grown is if you're actually going through something. And when you go through that thing, how do you actually handle that situation? See, you will notice that when you start handling the situation in a different way that you did in the past, that you have truly grown as a person, that your faith is truly growing. And you don't have the same results as you did in the past. Things stop happening the way it did in the past. For instance, if people thought that they could run over you in the past, because you learned your lesson, they're not able to just come at you and say anything that they want now in the present, because it's not going to end in the same way as it did in the past. So you have grown. Or if you're going through a problem in life and you usually would break down in the past, you usually would give up hope, you usually would throw in the towel, but now because your faith has grown, you're able to handle that situation and just put it in God's hands and not worry, not stress yourself about it, and know that God has your back and that he never leaves you nor forsake you, and he will make a way for you. That's how you know that your faith has truly grown. Another way that you would know that your faith has truly grown is if in the past you was an unbeliever, but now you are a believer of God. You should be able to be around unbelievers and not be provoked or persuaded to do anything that they are doing. It shouldn't affect you in any way. If you're affected by anything that an unbeliever is doing in any type of way, you still have growing to do. If there's unforgiveness in your heart, and I say these things, and we're all still growing. We all still have mountains to climb. So you may still run across some of these things, and it may be somewhat of a battle. But as long as you have growth in these situations, you are growing. You are getting better. Your faith is growing. But if you're still in the same mindset as you was in the past, then you're still not at a point where you realize these things. You're not going to realize, okay, I may not be able to stand this person, but I know I got to forgive this person for me. Whether I move on or let this person back in my life, I know that I have to do this for me. I can't let hate ruin my blessings. I can't let bitterness ruin what God has for me. I can't let unforgiveness hinder my life. I have to forgive them for myself so that I can move on and just let it go. And it's best to pray for your enemies. Pray that they, repent from their sins if they haven't already, and turn to God. That's growth. That's how you know when you can do those type of things. That's how you know that you have grown in your faith, and you will be tested. That's the only way that you're going to recognize your growth, Because if you're not going through things, there's no way that you're going to know how to react, how to get through nothing. If your life is just all peaches and cream all the time, there's no way that you're going to know how to get through anything. You too sheltered. There's too, you too hidden. There's nothing going on for you to learn from. But having the ability to learn from mistakes or situations in life is truly the best way to gain knowledge, to gain understanding, to gain strength, to gain courage, to just to know how to handle day-to-day life. And people, because as you go higher in your life, as God continues to bless you, they say that as you go up, every level requires a different devil. So you're going to have to be equipped and have enough faith and knowledge to know how to fight these devils in the spirit. Because we do not fight against flesh and blood. We fight against powers, principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. These demons out here that's in people, jumping from person to person and situation to situation. So as God's children, we have to be equipped and have the knowledge and the knowing on how to fight these devils, so that we will always come out victorious, no matter how big that devil may be. So just know, even though your faith will be tested, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that it's ongoing. Without your faith being tested, the faith would be nothing at all. Because that means, like I said before, you will not be going through things. You will not have ups and downs, trials and tribulations. Therefore, you would not have a testimony. You would not know how to overcome things. You would not know how to climb that next mountain that comes. See, that next mountain is going to be higher, much higher and much steeper. And so if you couldn't climb that mountain that was before you before, how do you think, and you're not going through it, how do you think you're going to climb the next one? You got to go through it. You got to climb that first mountain to know how to climb the next one. Because see, that first mountain that you climb, that's where you learn from. So it'll be easier to climb the next one. So just know, just continue to build that faith. Just know it's not a hindrance. It's a necessity. And God is going to help you through it. He's going to provide you with all you need to get through it. But He's making you stronger. He's making you wiser. So that no matter what, is nothing that will be able to break you or keeping you from grabbing that rope and keep pulling up towards the mark. Keep going straight up, straight up. There's nothing that can stop you. With God, all things are possible with God. All things are possible with God.